Hello everyone, this is Austin from Raw Bliss. Got doggy dog down there. Today I wanted to talk about my juice fasting experience and what I've learned from over 200 days of juice fasting in total. Okay. Now, first off, I use the term juice fast lightly because I like to consider it a juice feast, like John Rose says. And the reason being is because a fast technically is when you're not consuming any calories at all. So a juice feast, because juices contain a lot of carbohydrates and calories that your body uses as fuel, easily absorbable fuel, while it flushes out your colon in one of the best ways possible, I believe. Water fasting, I don't have much experience on it. I can't really speak much on it, but you can't really go about your day-to-day business as on a water fast. It requires a lot of bed rest. Oh gosh, here we go with the ums again. I'm so sorry. The juice fasting is amazing because you can still get your calories in, get your carbohydrates in, get your fuel in for the day while cleaning out the colon, while just rehydrating all this old matter, all this old dry, like sticky stuff that's stuck in the colon, and eliminate it in one of the best ways possible. So yeah, it's really an amazing thing to embark on, this juice feasting journey, and I've been into it, nearly 5 years now, and every year I do at least like 30 days on a juice feast. Last year, I believe I did a 55 day, and then I did like a 28 day, something like that, in 2020. So I did quite a bit in 2020, and a lot when I first transitioned to fruitarianism. And the thing I would say is, first of all, make sure to implement at least one green juice a day, at least a liter, a quart, whatever system of measurement you use. Implement one green juice a day, at least. Depending on what you're trying to do, what your goals are. If you are someone who's very athletic, you're going to have to implement more fruit juices to get your calories met, to get your energy needs, okay? And another thing is, don't be afraid to drink more than a gallon a day, okay? This is a flush. This is hydrating the colon as much as possible. The more you drink, the better, okay? Especially if you're athletic. It can overbear the kidneys if you're not sweating, if you're not exercising regularly. So make sure to move your body during this process. Make sure to move your body a lot. Your body's going to want to move, for sure. But at least a gallon a day. You can go up to 2 gallons, 8 liters, 8 quarts of juice. If you're someone who doesn't like to make a juice, then drink it right away. If you have to do that, 8 times a day or 4 times a day, however many times you're juicing, it can get a little bit tedious. So if you have to make all your juices in the morning, then do that and have them prepped. I'm going to get better at that. But use the mason jars and try to fill the jars all the way to the top so that you're not letting much oxygen in the juice, because it'll oxidize and you'll lose some of the nutritional value from that. Also, a slow juicer is going to give you much more flavorful juice, less foam, more nutrition, and it'll stay fresh longer. If you use a high-speed centrifugal juicer, one of those lawnmower motor, if you use one of those, it'll create a lot of foam, it'll oxidize very fast, and it's not going to stay long term. So if you use one of those and you're prepping your juices, by the time you drink it, it's not going to be good. So it's really best for the nutrition to drink the juice as soon as you make it. I like to do this on my juice feast, but I usually just have 4 to 6 liters, 1 to 1.5 gallons for my juice feast, because I'm not, super athletic. I do some light cardio exercises, but I'm not like out there, doing like 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, stuff like that. So take that into account. If you are trying to heal something like a liver issue, the liver does great on green juices. The greens are going to help you a lot. The vegetables are going to help you a lot. Beet is great. Ginger, turmeric, things like this. They're going to help you a lot with cleaning out the liver, and especially the dark leafy green vegetables, because they have the fats that the liver likes and feeds on. The liver loves greens, especially bitter greens. So if you have access to dandelion, if the dandelion grows in your yard, throw a little bit of that in each of your juices. Usually you don't really taste it that much if you keep it in small amounts. Or if you really want to like super boost your healing, get that, just do straight dandelion, cucumber, lemon juice or something. And it's really good. It's really bitter, but it's so good for you. So make sure you drink enough. And if you want to go deeper into the healing, but you aren't as active, implement many green juices. I actually did one of my previous juice fasts, my 55-day, was on 50-50 fruits and vegetables. It was mostly, a very balanced juice. Every juice I had, it had like a fruit and a vegetable. And I made it taste good because the fruits were very sweet. And then I used something like carrot, which is still very sweet, and something that's very calorific, that has high calories in the carrots. So that's something you can take into account too. Something, a fruit that has a lot of calories, like oranges. Probably the best one is orange, apples, melon, kind of. But oranges, apples, pears. Pears are good. You can do like a papaya juice. Pineapple is great. But look up the calories. You can look this up in Chronometer and put in each juice that you have to see if you're reaching your calorie goals for the day. So yeah, try to implement more of the green juices if you want to accelerate the healing process. The 50-50 fruit vegetable juices, you won't have as much energy, but you'll still have enough energy, and it'll accelerate the healing process. But you might want to sleep more. That's the thing. But I felt so good after. And after that, I felt my liver healed itself a lot, and I could digest fats a lot easier, like avocado, durian, coconut meat. So that's something that was a nice little benefit by the end of that. And you really want to move the lymphatic system. You really want to exercise. If you can, do some rebounding on a trampoline. You can, go cycling, walking, of course, running, anything. And you don't have to lose your muscle on a juice fast. It's very possible to maintain and even gain muscle on a juice fast. I've experienced a little bit of muscle gain on my 55-day juice fast, and I attribute that to more calories, and also the vegetables, which are higher in protein, of course. They have about twice the protein of fruits. which is not, a lot of protein, but it is enough. And my friend Nathan Von Dutch on YouTube can testify to the powers of muscle gains on a juice feast. So something that I think a lot of people get lost in is idealism, idealism. Because when you're thinking of like a juice feast, you're like, okay, do I want to, how long should it be? I want to go for 60 days. No, I really want to go to the distance. I want to go for 100 days. And it's your first juice feast, for example. I don't think this is a healthy mindset to have. And whenever I have done juice feasts, I have never really had a goal in mind. I just go until my body tells me that it's enough. It's time to stop now. And I think people get really lost in the numbers and they push themselves too far past to where they, their body can really handle. And sometimes you can do more harm than good when you go too far, especially if you have eating disorders, which I'm going to talk about next. So if you have an eating disorder, juice feasting might not be for you. I'm just going to be honest. I've done this coming into this with an eating disorder. And I actually feel after some of the shorter term, I haven't done like long-term juice feasts. I think the longest I've done is like 58 days, 55 days. And I actually feel I had a better relationship with food after these juice feasts, after many short-term juice feasts. And the reason being is because you gain so much appreciation for the food rather than just going to it every day habitually, creating bad habits with food. Just, it's nice to take a break. And juice feasting, you're still getting the nutrition in from the food. You're just not eating. You're just not, it's not as emotional. But emotions will definitely come up during the juice feast. And that's something that you have to really sit with and not just chug down juices to suppress your emotions, because you can still do that. People talk about emotional eating. There's emotional drinking as well, and overhydration. So make sure you're sipping your juices very slowly. A liter of juice should take at least 30 minutes, if not an hour, or 40 minutes to an hour is really good to really hydrate the colon. When you're drinking it too fast, sometimes it can just go right through you. And that's when people get a lot of the digestion, uncomfortable bowel movements and stuff like that, rather than sipping slowly so that you can rehydrate everything that's inside you and it can absorb into your bloodstream more easily, and you'll be more hydrated because of it. People think that you can't be dehydrated on a juice fast, but if you drink really fast, it's not going to hydrate you on a cellular level. So that's another thing. Drink very slowly. It's going to be a lot easier on your kidneys too. When you drink very fast, the kidneys can only handle about a liter per hour, if that. So try and keep it, sipping. And in the Gerson therapy, they talk about like 10 to 12 ounces every hour and a half, I believe. And that's a way to really get the colon going. But I think it's only a gallon a day, but they do that 8 to 12 ounces every hour and a half or so. And that's a really great protocol as well. Enemas. Let's talk about enemas. Now, these are something that I've implemented more recently in 2019 and 2020 in my juice feasting. And I think they can be extremely beneficial on the longer days of juice feasting. I don't think it's really necessary to do it for the short term, just a couple weeks, 3 weeks. But when you really get into it and you really get stuck up and you're not having a movement for a few days, it can really just help things get moving. And I think people have a lot of the stigma around enemas, like, oh, that's gross, I don't want to stick something up my butt, it doesn't make sense, it's not natural. But you know, juice feasting isn't natural, right? We can get into all this talk about what's natural and what's not natural. Anyways, besides the enemas, something that is really beneficial is a cheesecloth or a nut milk bag, so that you're really getting all the fiber out of your juices. Something like the Kuving C7000, which is what I have, which I highly recommend for a juice feast, by the way. Since it has the wide feed chute, it makes things like, you know, watermelon, you can just throw watermelons in there, throw whole cucumbers, throw whole apples. It's very simple, very easy to clean. This dog. And yeah, the Kuving C7000 is a great juicer. But, where was I going with that? Oh, I can't think with this stupid dog, man. So yeah, the Kuving C7000, great juicer. Oh, I totally lost my train of thought. Hydration, energy. Oh yeah, the pulp. Oh my gosh. So, you know, a lot of juicers, they won't get all of the pulp out of the juice. And they'll leave quite a bit in there, and people don't realize that when they're juice feasting, that they're drinking all this pulp. And the whole point of the juice feast is to eliminate the fiber. I mean, not all the fiber, it still has the insoluble fiber when you're drinking the juices, just not the soluble fiber. But use a cheesecloth, nut milk bag, whatever you call it, or you get a really fine mesh strainer, and that's going to be your best bet, because most all juicers, they leave a little bit of pulp in there. So I think that's really helpful as well. Something that can really help you on a juice feast is making savory juices. Salty, savory, bitter, spicy. You know, you can still get these in. And I like to make like salad juices. Something like pineapple, cucumber, cilantro, tomato. Really good, just straight tomato juice. Tomato, cucumber, cilantro. Bell pepper juice. You guys know I'm totally a fan of bell pepper juice. And you know, these can be really great to satisfy your different taste buds. You know, a lot of people will just stick with the sweet juices, and it can get a bit boring on the palate. And I think the vegetables are definitely helpful, especially if you're looking to go more long term on the juice feast, because they give you, especially the green leafy vegetables, they give you some fatty acids that are essential for the brain, and you're not going to get in large amounts from fruits. You still get them in fruits, just not in a higher ratio like they are in vegetables. So I definitely think if you are feeling too high energy and you're having trouble sleeping, especially on a juice feast, the vegetables, especially at the end of the day, have a green juice at the end of the day. It'll help, you know, balance out the blood sugar levels, and you'll get a lot better sleep from the green leafy vegetables. Let's see, is there anything else? There's so much I could go into with juice feasting, and I'll probably have some more videos on this subject. But let me know if this helped you guys by giving it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your experience with juice feasting if you're on a juice feast now, if you're thinking about going on one in the future. And yeah. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day here. See if I can get a thumbnail.
Peace and love, everybody.